Hi, Sippers. Welcome to another episode of Talk, Entertainment and Art. With me, Wetusonge Kumalo, also known as The Anchor. Now, today's guest is yet another entertainer known as Thandukwazi Hadebe, who was born in the capital but raised in a small town called Big Bend. So today we're going to get to know him better because clearly he has a vast number of experience in the entertainment industry as well as other bits and pieces of business here and there. Welcome to the show, Thandukwazi.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm here. Finally. I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of the T family. I'm such a fan of your work.
Wait, can you highlight
Like I was saying off air, I mean, you've really grown. Like from the first few times I saw you on when you guys were still sipping tea, like you're supposed to, and to now, man, I'm really loving the growth, man.
I hope Mr. Director inserts a meme here, a nice Beyonce meme, because guys, there's filler.
Yeah. No, man, you know, credit is due. I mean, you gotta give
just
people
as
their
we're going to
flowers.
give you credit today, because clearly you have been there. You have been out there and just doing things.
Yeah. I mean, it's only been a couple of years, but it's been sort of compounded into like, it feels like a lot of years. It feels like 10 years plus.
Because we're busy. There was so much work that you were getting done.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Working with promoters out of the country, starting things here and there.
I mean, at some point it was just crazy. At some point it was just a lot to take in, you know. But
I think the fact that you started off in Durban on its own is just a city that is a lot to take in. It's just it's a busy city. And to think that's where you started off, how was that for you?
Durban was amazing, man. Durban was amazing. This is my first stint at tertiary education because I was at Howard College campus.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy time because you're just stepping out of high school, right? And you are trying to figure yourself out.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out, I mean, even what colors you like. You know, that whole thing is just shaken.
Wait, you were trying to find out what colors you like in
Yeah.
tertiary.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, growing up, my favorite color was blue. But I got to varsity, I'm like, actually, I think I like black and red and white.
I think we all grow up to like black.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
for
we
me,
do.
it's my safe color. It's my safe color. I'm
Like
always in all
you
black.
can see, I'm also in black.
Smashy, like, so. Yeah.
So how was that? Because you were working with clubs, festivals,
Yeah.
and you also started student-wise, right? You were part of it.
Okay, I'll just break it down, Gangman. I started out, I think Student-Wise came first, and it wasn't my thing. Student-Wise it's a company that's still there now, that basically hires varsity students for promotions and activations, right?
Okay, that explains the name.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Vele, it was always the first thing they always ask for is your student card. They need to confirm that you are a student. So that was the space that put me into understanding in nightlife as a Teguin. You know, because you'd find good. I remember one brand
Nightlife. Teguin, why does that sound dangerous?
no, I mean it's vibes. You know, is it because I'm saying it in Phonetic or it's nightlife in Durban? Does
I
that
think
sound better?
nightlife in Durban sounds a little more. I think that sounds a little more safe.
Yeah. No, but I mean, so we used to do like certain activations of brands that would require us to be at clubs.
Okay.
So I don't wanna call them out now, but like certain alcohol brands, you know. So you'd be there at nightlife doing your promotions with a couple of ladies, and you know, moving the product around. And
Moving the product. Why are you making it sound like you guys are selling cocaine?
Oh no, man! It's not because let me break it down for you. So Maungena, right?
Yeah.
So you enter the club, you just been searched and everything. The promotions usually they're the first ladies that you see. Maungena. Either you're gonna see the host of the event or our ladies, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if it's I'm gonna throw a brand out there. If it's maybe I remember Savannah Dark was in at the time. So the ladies are all black, tight dresses, blah blah blah, with a tray. Would you like to taste this item? You know.
Yeah.
So basically, that was what we were doing. You know. So other brands, the Russian Bears, so
Hey, Russian
that's
Bear.
how the whole thing came. Would say, oh, so this is what happens at night. night,
This is what
in
happens at
Durban.
night in
Yeah,
Durban.
so I think that's when the bug really, really started to bite. And then over time, just because I was someone who was somewhat a little politically active with like student movements.
Okay.
So SRC and so
You were part of the SRC?
I wasn't part of the SRC.
But
I was
you
a member
were-
of SASCO, which
Okay.
is like an ANC branch of like a student lokunja, you understand? So planning events, so the freshers, things like that, you'd find yourself being in the conversations, so we'd do freshers and dugu, you're on stage, ubambi mic out of nowhere.
And you just have to take
and it's
that
just
up.
vibes, and yeah, that's where it really like bit me. Actually,
I like this, man.
there's something
This
here,
thing is fun.
So yeah, so that's student wise sort of put me on to that, and then yeah, man, just writing a few things, house parties, rolling with the gang,
And just having
hanging with
fun.
some DJs, Touch of Soul being one of them. Yeah, we really got some good access when he was still when he was still in the scene.
Yeah.
When he was still fully in the scene, and yeah, man. So I think that's where the bug really bit me,
And my question is, okay, you're in tertiary, ne?
Yeah.
Kaya, walk to me, look at your phones.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
they told you to go to school.
Yep.
You go to school, you become a part of this student-wise company,
Yeah.
and now you're going to clubs.
Yeah.
You're promoting alcohol. All these things are happening, and you are inside.
Yeah.
You are the one promoting all of this.
Yeah.
Did that kind of bring a certain image back home of you?
So my parents didn't know. In fact, I think this would be the first time my mom's actually finding out about Student Wise. So my parents didn't know I had some sort of like a side nyana hustle, right? Initially, vele you leave home to further your studies, to at
And
a
to
prestigious
discover yourself
university,
also.
and you are representing the family.
Yeah, and you were representing in the club.
You understand? But eventually, the social side of me, I realized how well I do in social settings, how well I relate with people,
Yeah.
how well I'm able to hold conversations, how well I'm able to influence,
Yeah.
people's choices and things like that. So school became somewhat of a social experiment for me because I realized it's okay, sharp, ngitele kutotfola a degree,
Yeah.
of which I did,
You
Let's
did
not-
the job. You
I
did
mean,
what they said you should go and
you
do.
understand? You understand? So that was fulfilled, but it was an experiment for me to see the growth in myself.
Yeah.
Phela ngafika, for the lack of a better term, ngafika ngiyinyoni. I'm just a kid from Eswatini.
Ui, Nhlanje,
I
Nzinza.
mean, in high school, I was at the top of the food chain. Now I'm at the bottom of the food chain all over again. And just trying to find your way and trying to find yourself in that whole Les Pizza Pizzas as a university because
Yeah.
it's a space where nobody really cares, at the end
True.
of the day. The bottom line is no one really cares, but you're so concerned about what this person and that person thinks of me.
That's true.
It's also just a part of it. So first year, second year were like that. But the moment I got to third year, I'm like, man,
I don't care.
man, we're all here to just try and figure this life thing out.
Yeah.
So that was the year where things really
Started to happen
started
for
to
you.
happen because I started coming into my own, and you sort of attract certain things. You attract certain conversations. You attract being in certain spaces.
Yeah.
You find yourself doing social things, doing entertainment things.
And just experiencing life on a different level.
Exactly. So yeah, man. I think. Hey, I came back with a degree, so
Because that's what you went to do. You went to go and fetch a degree,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
came back with it.
Yeah.
And when you came back, you started working for Observer, right?
yeah. So when I came back, 2016.
Yeah.
Because I finished my degree a semester late. So I was supposed to finish 2015, but then I finished first semester 2016, and then I was in Joburg from around July to say November, December. Came back to Eswatini, Mbabane, more specifically. And then I've got a friend, Tubasa. He's a deep house head. He works for Observer and also has a page called Beats on Beats, right? So
And that's the page you were writing articles for.
So that's how it started. Good see, I'm a bit overwhelmed with work because he does the IT and stuff. So the page was his just passion project, right? So I'm like, hey man, we're both lovers of music, so let's just chop it up and see what happens. So I'd write lapana lapa, fill in the gaps, and just bring a different perspective to the whole industry and what I thought of it at the time.
I think my question would be that as this person who is experiencing a social part of him, how did you come to find out that you're good at writing?
It was I think it was just third year. Third year, when you're writing your research projects, you're writing your assignments. I started understanding the power of being able to articulate your thoughts into paper and it actually coming across to the person who's reading it as is. You get what I mean?
Clearly, you're a better human being than I am, because I did not get all of that from my project. I was just like, data analysis, all I need to know is numbers. I did not discover that I can write through my project.
Because it was, for me, it was a moment where I wasn't really doing well at school. And I wasn't doing well not because I'm stupid or anything. I just was not really being conscious of putting together an assignment. Just understanding how to word things, how things flow in an assignment, how when someone is reading something, so I kind of got the gist of Gupala at the time, so
and captivating the reader.
Exactly. So when Dubasa hit me up on this, I was like, I already love music, and the music industry, La Swatini, was something that I was very curious about. Would say what's happening, what are gents doing, what's the vibes, and because I was hanging around with him, Dubasa, he was in spaces where he was with DJs a lot. We were going to certain events, so I got a feel for what's okay. So these are the vibes. So it gave me a lot of content to write about. And it made it easier for me to even theme a whole 2-3 pages. Right. So that sort of got my foot in the door with the Swazi Observer. And then I just out of nowhere I love motoring, right?
Because you also did a motor supplement.
So I love motoring like really, 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 really bad. So I tell my homie, I'm like, except we only have 2 national publications in the country, right? And the bigger one, Times of Swaziland, has a motoring segment every Thursday. But I was worried about the content because I was someone who was consuming motoring content from all over the world, right? So I'm pretty clued up. So I had sort of like certain issues, and I used to write to them at times. I used to write responding to what's this, what's that,
what's going on
how
here,
is it? And eventually I caught on to the fact that not people are not writing, right? It's just what's on the internet, blah blah blah, let's put it out there. You understand?
Wait, hold on. Hold it right there. Right from the internet, copy paste,
pretty much. That's
varsity kind of situation, because that's what we do.
We used to reference.
They don't reference plagiarism.
Plagiarism. We had this thing called oh goodness, what is this program where you had to submit your assignment in the program?
Do they do that?
And that one.
What's it called?
Turn it in.
Oh
yeah.
At my school, I don't know if they tried to do it, but we were just too.
So
got away with it.
With us already, plagiarism was a big no-no. Because you'd find they'd give you leeway, but say not more than 5% plagiarism. So it'll probably be like a sentence that is just stolen from somewhere.
Not more than 5%.
So what that taught us 2 things, right? It taught us the importance of referencing where you get your information, because nothing comes from space. You can't.
That is true.
Everything is inspired by something,
and everyone deserves credit for what they write.
Exactly. 2, paraphrasing. You need to be good at paraphrasing. Taking information and putting it in your own words, and understanding, honestly, because if you don't understand what you're reading, you won't be able to paraphrase it. Noise, you see. So I was pretty, because I'd see some of the things and I'm like, I read this in somewhere not so long ago, and okay, fine, the referencing is there. I'll give them that, but some of the information was irrelevant to the Swazi market. It was irrelevant to the Swazi motorist. It was irrelevant to the Swazi consumer, right? And so something came to me, just write a proposal for the managing editor at the Observer. So I wrote a proposal.
And they approved it.
I figured it out. I came knocking at his door and I'm like, sir, This is what I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Here's how it's gonna make money for you. Here's how it's gonna make mileage for you. Blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Took him a couple of weeks, but eventually he fell in love with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I started off with like 2 pages, right?
Yeah.
And I had content for days, Pelamina, because
you're always reading about
I'm
this.
reading about it. I'm watching Formula One every weekend. I'm watching MotoGP every weekend. I'm watching.
Okay, I think this is the chance for me to learn about Formula One because, guys, it's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it has been everywhere. And I'm just like.
But what do you know about it?
I just know that people drive go-karts. I think that's what the cars are called.
Yeah, nah.
Because wait, like I love cars, nah.
Yeah.
Like my dad
Yeah.
mostly bought those Top Car cards. Remember those?
Yeah.
And we'd always play. My dad would buy all these Top Gear thingies.
Yeah, the publications. Yeah.
But I just know the cylinders. I know there's a windscreen.
Okay, so you want a short crash course as to what Formula One is about, right?
And said,
I'll give it to you.
What to Sonke's lesson?
I'll give it to you, and I'll try to break it down in like 5 minutes, right? So Formula One has 10 teams.
Okay.
Right? There's 10 teams, 2 drivers per team, right? So that's 20 drivers.
Okay.
Right? Do you know at least one driver?
I just know this one that has been trending. Apparently, he's just the best.
Is it Lewis Hamilton?
Yes, that one. That's the one. He's
black?
He's
black. He's the one that matters. He's
the one
black
that got the
side.
medal thingy me.
Yeah, he's black.
That side makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, because for us, Antipela, he'd be colored.
Yes.
This side, yeah, because I think his mom is white and his
okay,
dad is...
that's another conversation.
Yeah, it's another conversation altogether. We're getting a bit carried away.
Formula One.
Yeah, so Formula One, 20 drivers, right?
Okay.
There's first, second, and third, like there is in every other sport, right?
Yes.
There's a certain number
Gold,
of points
silver,
that
bronze.
you earn. Exactly. Right? There's certain... They changed the point system. My friends will be so mad at me. They changed the point system for 2022. Like they did a whole lot of stuff for 2022. Like it's a whole lecture on its own.
Yeah.
So yeah, 20 drivers, basically tracks around the world, right? So the whole idea of it is not only is it promoting motoring, and some of the best technology that you have in cars today has come from Formula One.
Really?
Like the mere fact would say now briga imoto, your lights come on. That's Formula One. Right?
I thought that was a standard.
No, but that's where it can, like, from the 60s. Yeah, like Formula One in the 60s or 70s. That's where the technology
Formula
came from.
One is like the fundamental part of motoring.
That's basically where companies that have Formula One teams, that's where they test some of their cutting edge technology before
and then
they can replicate
I drive to test for the companies. Because is this thing working?
Where now you're getting a fully tested product. So Formula One, the guy who's driving the Formula One car, that's the guinea pig.
My point exactly. He's the guinea pig.
That's the guinea pig. Because and based on us, we're trying this technology out. We're trying to figure it out.
And you're aware that we're trying this.
That's why they get paid so much.
Oh.
You understand? Because Formula One is such a dangerous sport.
Yeah, because they're always driving so fast.
Sport.
And the corners, they're just like...
Exactly. So it's such a dangerous sport. And yeah, so basically, that's what drives it. Is the fact that everyone is just testing out cutting edge technology for everyone else to benefit from, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, man, do you get a picture?
I get it. I get the picture.
Yeah.
I get the picture.
Yeah.
But A for effort, I try to understand.
So when your next job is to pick a team?
I think I'll go with the one with the famous
Hamilton.
guy. Yeah.
That's Mercedes. Okay, so we're okay.
Does Audi have a team?
No. Audi has teams everywhere else besides Formula One. So there's different racing. There's different racing, sort of like championships. Right? Audi has developments everywhere besides Formula One, because Formula One it's a tricky space to get into, and it's very expensive.
Well, Mercedes, it is.
Well, cool.
How did we get here? We'll talk about your motoring
supplements.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so eventually, my proposal gets approved.
Yeah.
I actually read that proposal quite often because I still have it. So it's always a reminder, Jagutsi, you know, sometimes you need to show people what you think works.
I think we may need to borrow that proposal. Mr. Director, we have a few proposals to write ourselves.
Yeah. Hi, man. But I'll send it to you guys. It's not.
Please, we'll reference.
You'll be inspired. It will be your
Don't worry,
you must reference.
We'll reference. Yes, we
must
will.
reference. Otherwise, I'll come for my 5% when you guys finally get those monies. So I started off with 2 pages, and from 2 pages to 4 pages. From 4 pages to 6 pages, from 6 pages to 8 pages.
And you are doing all that writing.
Yeah. And now I'm at a point whereby the other publications are now asking, what's happening there?
What's going on?
Who's this person?
That?
And with me, because I was so specific about relevant content, I was doing test drives. I was going to dealerships. You understand? And test driving the car that your mom would buy or your dad would buy. You understand what I mean? So everything that I write about is now relevant to you. The cars that you see every day, you understand?
Yeah.
That was, for me, that was my passion. Would see, people should have more knowledge. Not everyone has the time to go for a test drive.
That's true.
Some people buy cars, some people buy cars and have no idea how this car drives, and it just looks nice.
True. It gives that prestigious
a few weeks into it,
title.
they're like, Ish, I think I made a bad investment, because
this car's expensive.
Exactly. And it's I mean, for most people, it's your pretty much your second largest investment after a house.
That's true.
Yeah. So just making sure people make knowledgeable decisions on such a purchase. It's not a joke, and then insurance comes in, and there's a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I used to focus on all of that stuff. So your insurance, like tires and all of the other stuff that people don't sort of like ignore. It's no longer really spoken about. Like I even had a segment, I remember I did one for the ladies. I think it was August, so it was Women's Month, and the theme was women. So how women can change a tire, like things like changing a tire with your heels on. You understand? Like I wrote about all of that stuff, So I had a couple of ladies hit me up on some, I know how to change a tire.
Yeah.
So for me, that was touching. Would see, people are learning stuff, and it's life-saving stuff.
That's
that tire
true.
It's something that can happen to anyone. But I always get so scared when a woman is on the side of the road and she's got a blown tire. Baby, you understand?
And he can't even call anyone.
He has to pull up. And so
it's just a set of skills that women should have.
Everyone should have it, not just women.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, even as a gent, you
but
don't want to be a gent.
It's like gulagin. It's just a default.
Hey,
that you guys know about cars.
I know guys who can't change tires. Ask the guys in this room now. Can they change tires?
Mr. Director, can you change a tire? Tevin.
Yeah, I can.
So they are the exception. You understand?
Yeah.
But like there's gents who can't change tires, and it's weird. Like imagine now you're with your hand, say kupamal tire. You don't even know if you have a spare wheel in the back. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to genderfy this whole thing, but I feel like it's something that now with the day you buy a car, now you should know how to change a tire.
Well, that's another red flag added to the list. If you can't change a tire,
I'm
ladies,
sorry to the gents,
it's a red flag. It is a red flag.
Yeah.
So after you moved from Observer, you went to work with Solanis.
Yeah.
Let me point out your titles.
Okay.
MC.
Yeah.
PR.
Yeah.
Manager.
Yeah.
All these 3 titles by one. Weren't you a DJ as well?
Yeah. I rocked eventually. Yeah.
All at Solanis.
Yeah.
You were making money.
Hey man, that was home. That was home, man. That was home. It's I think it's rare, sometimes to find family. Because how it all began was just God's timing, know. How I started emceeing at Solanis, it was just I felt a need. I felt like, there's something's missing. There's a disconnect. I see the DJs are rocking.
Yeah.
I see the people are having a good time, but there's something that should be connecting the two.
Yeah.
Right. And basically for me, that's the job of an MC. So that's how it all begins now.
Okay,
and
wait.
Yeah.
You felt like there's a disconnect between the crowd and the DJ.
Yeah.
So MC.
Yeah, that's where.
But
the MC
you're
comes
also
in.
an activist against MCs shouting out in between the DJ set.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't say, yeah.
So there's a science.
Are you feeling it?
There's a science to it.
Yeah.
Right? There's a time and a place for everything.
Okay.
Right? There's a time and a place to say things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's so important. I learned this on the job. Right,
Yeah.
so naming now mind you, and I figured out on my way, yabo? And I was learning, good see, from the DJ side, your job as an MC is to basically ubeng number 5 wabo, be their defender, be their like you set the tone.
Yeah.
Yabo? I can have a DJ from for all you know, but my job as an MC is to hype this guy up, his name and who he is so much you guys would swear good signal Drake
because he's the best.
You understand what I mean? Type of thing. That's the job of the MC. That's how, because how the MC perceives the DJ is how you guys will receive them, especially
that is true. That's true. Yeah,
especially if you don't know the DJ, you know. So then I learned that along the way, right? And then also sometimes the people just need a little bit of, you know. Yeah. They need a little bit of, you know.
You need to remind them that
they need a little bit
of. They need to feel the fire.
You understand? And as in your cards, you find good say, I know that they're in for a treat, but they just don't know the DJ, right? Okay. So my job is to set you guys up. Good say, yo, y'all, you guys need to pay attention. It's about to get crazy. Yeah. You understand what I mean? And so while the vibes are playing, you are able to hype them up in such a way that when the DJ finally comes into their own, because also their research is important. You as an MC have to know who's coming to play, what they play,
understand their craft,
look for their content, ask for a mix. I mean, I used to ask DJs on a lineup. This is before I was even entertainment manager. This is me just an MC. I used to ask, who's on the lineup? Bang chele, it's okay, so and so's on the lineup. Hey, I haven't seen this person, I haven't seen this person. Hey, give me their numbers. Except, do you have a mix? Can I listen to your stuff? Do you have videos? Do you have links where I can see your stuff? Because I just want to see what you do and
so
how
that
you
know
do it. Exactly. So I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You understand what I mean? Nalo DJ na yobe super comfortable. Okay, I can rock. Yeah. You understand what I mean?
True.
You make everybody in the space comfortable. One, to receive the vibes, and for the DJ to give all they have. You know, and just leave it all on the stage or on the dance floor. So
you had a lot of fun at Solanis.
A whole lot.
I can tell.
A whole lot. It was hard work, but fun was always part of it.
I think the one thing that I would want to ask you, especially in line with this place that you called home, was when a lot of things were rocking this place, the allegations, the drama, all of that. How did that make you feel as someone who advocates so much for this place to the point where you call it home? Because you can't just call any place home. That is a place that is really, really dear to your heart. So how did that make you feel when all these things were coming at you guys?
It's tough, you know, like every family, every household. You know, the unfortunate part is that we as Solanis became so big that you couldn't ignore the brand. Yeah. So everything that would happen is happening under a microscope, right? So those times were tough. You know, but because it's family and because it's a brand and because you understand, I mean, every brand goes through the craziest things. You know, brands that we consume every day. Your Coca-Colas have scandals. Your whatever. Every big brand and brands just in general have their scandals because at the end of the day they are run by human beings. We need to forget
people that make mistakes.
Everyone makes a mistake.
Yeah,
you understand. Everyone makes decisions that are, you know, your flesh and blood, your brains. You know, we're right. Everything is run by human beings, and for everything that is run by human, a whole car, for example. You know, accidents happen because of human error. You understand? People lose lives, you know, it gets crazy, you know. So yeah, man, it would be very stressful times, you know, but understanding how big the brand is and understanding how much of an influence it has become to the entertainment industry as a whole, just the whole idea of trying to figure out the best way to persevere and keeping the brand as pure as how it should be, because at the end of the day, it represents I always used to call it, when I used to write about it, it's an urban oasis, right? So basically it was writing, or basically showing you as a urban dweller in Mbabane, how to rock, style having a good time, how you go out, gugeza and dressing up and looking fresh and putting on your fafas, to look fresh and rock, and starting to understand how nice it is to be a groove, looking and feeling good, So yeah, man, just focusing on the bigger picture and trying to just meander and move around and try and figure out a way, but keeping your eye on the bigger picture, because at the end of the day, this brand is just, it's too much.
It's too big for all the scandals.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And then from right there, you went into logistics.
Yeah.
You are just going in and out, trying, I'm going to dip my toe here, and then it works out. I will dip it here, it'll work out.
Yeah, I told
so you went into logistics.
Yeah, so logistics has always been a love of my life. I'm going to tell you a little story.
Yeah.
So this is 5-year-old TK. With mom, Skamanzini, I think. So a friend of hers comes to us. When these aunties say, "How young kumbula mine?" And I'm just like, yo, I don't know her from a bar of soap, right? And she asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I told this lady straight in the face, "I want to be a truck driver." I've never seen my mother so embarrassed.
I want to be a truck driver.
My mother was just white in the face.
But I think truck driver is better. My cousin said she wants to be a dragon. My grandmother nearly cried tears.
Yeah, that's a wild one. You need to get her checked out. Eh? But yeah, so since the tender age, man, I've always had a love for trucks, for buses, for just moving things around in bulk, how things move, how freight moves, from point A to point B, how your Rice Krispies get from the factory to your bowl, you know what I mean? So it was always a thing for me, right? And yeah, the opportunity came, and lockdown happened. We went rocking like we used to. I had a lot of time on my hands, and I was like, this is the time.
To plan it
try
out.
it out. Not even plan it out. This wasn't
you
planned.
You had already planned.
I had no plan.
You just went in.
Yeah, but
you did say that.
Exactly. I had no plan. All I had was $1 and a dream. Use the dollar and try to figure it out. Try to figure it out. So every day was. Because when I got my little mini truck, it was at home for like 2 weeks. No plan.
You didn't know what to do with
it.
it.
Okay, we have this item now. Now what? So then you spend some time trying to figure out, trying to look, it's okay. Gents are doing this. Okay, this is what works.
Yeah.
Doing your research with the thing outside, because I think it offers that heated motivation. Good see, you need to get this thing done, because then for you get what I mean? So yeah, I literally figured out my business from the ground up on a daily basis.
And how's that going so far?
Hey man, I had an accident. I don't know if I had an accident. I lost the truck. I had an accident.
You ended up buying another truck.
No, not really. So here's the twist, right? I had an accident, bad accident, and things got weird, because that's where the depression kicked in, right?
I hope director understands that depression is real. Mr. Director.
I used to mize depression before that happened. But when it happened and you realize, you can, just being a happy-go-lucky person that I am, it was a shock. Some days I just can't get out of bed. Like, it physically hurts to get out of bed. That's how bad depression would get, So the reason for that was because we were going, doing so well. And then all of a sudden it was...
everything just stopped.
Cut off, and everything just stopped. And my focus now had been very in my business, and I wasn't really focusing much on entertainment as I was, So having my focus in one place, and that eventually just being cut off, So it took me on a weird trip, man. Took me a while to recover. But yeah, we're back now.
We're happy.
We're right now. We're back
good,
to
we're
making
recovered.
moves. So yeah, man. Yeah, so I had that going, but we're still in logistics. Definitely. just bigger this time around.
Yeah.
You know, lessons were learned, money lessons were learned, business was learned, how to do business, negotiations. You know? So much was learned on the ground that now I think we're unstoppable this year.
You're just going.
We're just going.
I think to close off the show, I would want to ask you that with all this experience that you have in all these different departments, to that one individual that actually wants to go into maybe one or more of the fields that you've been in, what is it that you would say to them?
Oh, man, a lot. I'd say a lot, man, because right now Shonjalo, I'm just thinking of the 16-year-old who's in grade 10, grade 11. Who doesn't know what they want to do with their lives, doesn't know, you know, yes, I'm going to be in grade 11 next year, then matric, then what? You know, okay, maybe varsity, you know, if you're privileged enough. If not, then what? I'd say believe in yourself, you know. You have to believe in yourself because everybody is just too busy and too not really genuine enough to really believe in you for what you really want to do. You need to believe in yourself. You like, no matter how crazy that thought or that intuition or whatever that is that God has planted in you, no matter how insane it might sound when you say it out loud, you need to believe in that because that is your ticket to touch lives. That is your ticket to breaking generational curses. That is your ticket to becoming someone, you know, who one day can change so many lives. You know, so you need to believe in yourself firstly, and secondly, as dark as this might sound, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you because we have a generation of people who feel entitled, right?
There's a lot of entitlement.
We feel entitled to this person has to do this for me because we are this, you understand?
Because we're siblings, this person, we're
exactly.
Best friends.
No one is coming to save you. For as long as you don't really believe in yourself, we can come and save you. We can come and say, here's a 50,000. You understand? But because our plan, you have no story, you don't believe in anything that you've ever, you know, conceived and gone venyako, that 50,000 will be blown.
It'll go to waste.
It'll go to waste because we are basically planting on.
And the minute the other family members hear about that, no one's got you.
It gets weird. So yeah, man, definitely I'd say believe in yourself because no one is coming to save you. Yeah, that is for me, and that's basically my thing. That's what gets me through the dark times, you know.
Yeah, because you've been through them. So we can trust that actually got you through.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still here.
Evidently.
I'm still here. So
evidently.
Yeah, man. So just believe in it. That gut feeling, man. Even if it means dancing at the robots.
That heat that you feel here.
We all have it.
Yeah.
We all have it. So believe in that. Believe in that. Don't listen to Bantu Bazothini syndrome needs to stop, yo. Like, that thing is keeping us from so much talent. It's keeping us from so much good vibes. Just do you, man. At the end of the day, it's the only chance you have, you know.
That's true.
And it's the only version of yourself
life.
you have. Exactly. So just rock, you know. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw it to you, Mr. MC. Close us off. You can't have all this experience and I don't give you a chance to shine. Not happening.
Okay.
I'm sitting back.
Guys, this is the T podcast. Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. You guys need to subscribe. You guys need to like. You guys need to comment because this platform is becoming the next big thing, and if you're not part of this now, utati sola later, you know. So shout out to the team.
Look at you taking my job. Bye, sippers.